The world wakes up before the alarms start screaming, before the noise of traffic and notifications begins. There is a silence, and in that silence, something happens. A war begins. Not a war fought with guns or soldiers, but with thoughts between the voice that says, "Get up and move," and the voice that says, "Stay a little longer." That small, invisible battle, the one that happens in your mind before your feet even touch the ground. That's the real war of your life, because in that single second, your future is being negotiated. You think you're choosing between sleep and waking up. No, you're choosing between progress and stagnation, between growth and comfort, between who you are and who you could become. Every morning is a test you can't cheat on. The world may never see it, but your destiny depends on it. Most people lose that test. They lose it quietly. They hit snooze and say, just 5 more minutes. 5 minutes that turns into 5 months. And 5 months that turns into 5 wasted years of saying, someday. But someday is a myth. There is only today, right now. Every morning, life gives you 2 doors. One leads to comfort, the other leads to discipline. One feels good now, but hurts later. The other hurts now, but pays forever. The question is, which door do you walk through? Because comfort is seductive, It wraps you like a blanket. It tells you, you've worked hard enough. You deserve rest, but it lies. Comfort doesn't care about your dreams, It only cares about keeping you average. Comfort kills more ambition than failure ever could. Discipline, on the other hand, it's rough. It doesn't care how you feel, It doesn't care about your mood, your excuses, or your tiredness. It demands obedience, and in return, it gives you power. When you move before you feel ready, when you act without waiting for motivation, you build something rare, self-respect. You start trusting yourself. You start believing your own words, and that's when life begins to bend to your will. Every man faces this invisible war daily. No medals, no applause, no witnesses, just you versus you. But remember, if you can win in silence, you can win anywhere. Because the way you do small things is the way you do everything. If you can conquer the morning, you can conquer the day. If you can conquer the day, you can conquer your future. The problem is, most men wait to feel ready. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect energy, the perfect mindset. But readiness is a lie, You don't get ready to move. You move to get ready. Progress doesn't come from feeling motivated, It comes from showing up when you don't. When your alarm hits 5 a.m. and every part of your body screams, stay in bed, that's not weakness talking, that's your old self begging for survival. It knows that once you rise, once you move, once you act, it dies. And maybe that's why the first step always feels the hardest, because it's a small act of death to death of the lazy version of you, Death of the old habits, Death of the old story you've been repeating. So when you wake up tomorrow and that voice whispers, stay a little longer, smile, because that means the war has begun. And now you get to choose who wins. Understand this, discipline is not built on inspiration. It's built on decision, Every time you decide to rise, you take power back from your weakness. Each morning you conquer builds momentum, Each repetition builds armor, Until one day, discipline isn't a fight anymore. It's who you are. It hides in your excuses, It whispers, you've done enough today, when you know damn well you haven't. Weakness is patient, It waits quietly for you to slip, It doesn't attack with a scream, it attacks with a whisper. And that's why it's dangerous. Because weakness doesn't kill your dream in one blow, It kills it slowly, one lazy decision at a time. One skipped workout, one delayed plan, one more night saying, I'll start tomorrow. That's how most men lose, Not because they were defeated by others, but because they surrendered to themselves. You see, discipline is not a punishment, it's freedom. It's the power to move forward even when everything in you says stop. It's doing what must be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. Most people wait for motivation, They wait for that spark to appear, that perfect move, that wave of inspiration, But the truth is, motivation is a liar, It shows up only when it's convenient, Discipline shows up every single day. You don't get to the top because you're inspired. You get there because you refuse to quit when inspiration disappears. Discipline is what separates men from boys, dreamers from doers, talkers from executors. Everyone wants success until they see what it demands. Success doesn't demand talent. It demands sacrifice, sacrifice of comfort, sacrifice of ego, sacrifice of temporary pleasure for permanent growth. You want to be great and be ready to bleed for it. Not physically, but mentally, Because the hardest war is not fought in the gym or office. It's fought in your head. When your body screams, I'm tired. When your mind whispers, it's okay to rest. Discipline answers, not yet. Discipline doesn't care how you feel, It doesn't care if you're sad, hurt, or unmotivated, It demands you show up anyway. You think CEOs wake up every day excited, ? No, But they wake up every day committed. Commitment is what gets you through the days. Motivation abandons you, Commitment is what builds consistency, And consistency builds kings. You must learn to make peace with the grind, Because the grind is not punishment, it's the path, Every repetition, every late night, every lonely morning is building something inside you that comfort never could. Weakness will tell you to stop when you feel pain, But pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher, Pain reveals the truth. How bad do you really want it? Most people quit when it hurts, The strong push through the pain and come out different, They understand pain is the price of growth. You cannot evolve without struggle, You cannot transform without sacrifice, You cannot become who you're meant to be by staying who you are. Every man must go through fire. It's the only way to burn away what's weak and reveal what's real. When life tests you, remember, pressure doesn't destroy diamonds. It creates them. The struggle is not there to break you. It's there to shape you. It's molding your character, sharpening your focus, and hardening your resolve. Stop asking, why is it so hard? Start saying, make me stronger. Every time you face resistance, you have two choices, surrender or sharpen. Discipline sharpens you, It teaches you to move even when it's raining, to act. Even when you're scared, to keep going when no one's watching. The world respects the man who doesn't flinch when things get hard, because that man is rare. You see, greatness has a price tag, and it's not cheap, It costs your comfort, your time, your sleep, your social life, and still, even after paying all that, you owe more. But that's the beauty of it, because the moment you sacrifice what's easy, you gain what's eternal, strength, focus, freedom. Weak men chase comfort, strong men chase purpose. Comfort will give you pleasure today and regret tomorrow. Purpose will give you pain today and pride forever. Ask yourself, which one do you want? You can't live for both, Every decision moves you towards one or the other. Discipline is not about controlling your time. It's about controlling your mind. It's about telling yourself, I said I would do it, so I'm doing it. No debate, no delay, no negotiation. Once you master that voice inside the one that tries to talk you out of greatness, you become unstoppable. Because weakness doesn't die instantly, it fades slowly as you starve it with action. At every rep you complete, every plan you execute, every promise you keep, kills it a little more. Until one day, it's gone, And what's left is discipline, and discipline doesn't scream. It speaks through results. So, if you ever feel tired, if you ever feel like giving up, remember why you started, Remember that weak voice that wanted you to stay average, And remember that you promised yourself something better. You said you wouldn't settle, You said you'd build something extraordinary. That means you fight, You fight the excuses, You fight the laziness, You fight the urge to quit. You fight because this is the battle that defines your life. And here's the truth. The stronger version of you is already inside you, waiting to be unleashed, but it's trapped behind your comfort, Break that wall, through pain, through sacrifice, through discipline. You want freedom? Earn it, You want success? Work for it, You want respect? Build it. Because the man who conquers himself conquers everything. There comes a point in every man's life when the pain stops breaking you and starts building you. When you stop running from the storm and start walking into it. That's the moment you realize something has changed. You've changed, You're not reacting anymore. You're not begging for motivation. You're not chasing validation. You've become something else. Something different, Dot. Something unshakable. You've become the man who moves with purpose. Even when no one believes in him, Dot. The man who no longer seeks comfort because he's too busy chasing growth. This is the becoming, Dot. The moment when the fire inside you burns brighter than any obstacle outside you. You used to break under pressure, Dot. Now, pressure fuels you, Dot. You used to wait for opportunity, Dot. Now, you create it, Dot. You used to pray for an easier path, Dot. Now, you pray for more strength. That's transformation. Not when things get easier, but when you get tougher. When pain no longer scares you, Dot. When you no longer need to prove anything to anyone, Dot, because now you've already proven it to yourself. Discipline has turned into instinct, Dot. Sacrifice has turned into strength, Dot. And weakness has no voice left. You've killed it through every repetition, every early morning, every sleepless night. You've buried it with your consistency. Now you operate differently, Dot. You move like a man on a mission, Dot. You wake up not for validation, not for applause, but because it's who you are. The beast mode isn't about screaming. It's about silence, Dot. The quiet confidence that comes from knowing you've earned your power. You don't need to say, I'll try. You say, I will, and then you do. Because you've learned that emotion is temporary, but execution is eternal. That's what most people never understand. They think beast mode means aggression, Dot, but it's not rage, it's control. It's channeling every ounce of pain, frustration, and hunger into focused action. It's walking into a room and knowing no one can outwork you, because no one was willing to go through what you did to get here. You've turned pain into patience, Dot. Discipline into dominance, Dot. And now your results speak louder than your words ever could. Look back at the man you were, the one who hesitated, Dot. The one who doubted, Dot. The one who let fear win. He's gone, Dot. You buried him. You built someone new, someone sharper, colder, hungrier. A man who doesn't flinch when life hits hard. A man who doesn't quit when plans fall apart. A man who can walk through fire and still move forward because he's already been burned before and survive. You don't seek easy anymore, Dot. You seek evolution. That's the real definition of beast mode, not fury, not anger, but absolute control. The ability to stay calm when the world panics, Dot. The ability to focus when everything's falling apart, Dot. The ability to execute while everyone else hesitates. Most people still think success is luck. They'll call you lucky when they see your results. They'll never see the nights you went without sleep, Dot. The days you kept grinding when your body screamed stop, Dot. The moments you doubted yourself, but kept going anyway. They won't understand, because they were never there in the trenches with you, that they were too busy seeking comfort while you were building character. You didn't become successful by accident. You built it brick by brick through pain, repetition, and sacrifice. Now you've earned the right to walk differently, Dot. To speak differently, Dot. To think differently. Not because you're better than others, but because you refuse to stay the same. See, the real beast isn't the loudest one in the room. It's the one who doesn't need to prove himself, Dot. He just moves, executes, and wins. You are that man now, Dot. And this is just the beginning. Because becoming is not the end of the story. It's the foundation. You've built strength, Dot. Now you build legacy. What's the point of power if it doesn't lift others? What's the point of growth if you don't use it to create impact? True beasts don't just win alone. They turn their strength into service, Dot. They become leaders. You've walked through pain. You've battled your demons. You've built discipline out of chaos. Now it's time to build others. The mission doesn't end when you achieve success, Dot. It begins when you use your success to light someone else's path. So stand tall, but not because you've reached the top, but because you've earned the right to climb higher. You've tasted blood. You've tasted loss. You've tasted loneliness, and through all of it, you've learned the truth. You don't need motivation, Dot. You don't need permission, Dot. You don't even need recognition. All you need is a reason. And that reason lives inside you, that hunger to grow, that voice that says, keep going, even when no one's watching. That's the voice that built everything you have, Dot. Never silence it. Because one day, you'll look back and you'll realize it wasn't the winds that changed you. It was the war, dot the struggle, dot the sleepless nights, dot the pain that broke your limits and revealed your power. That's when you'll understand. You never went beast mode to impress others. Dot, you went beast mode to become unstoppable. Now when you wake up, don't ask, how do I feel? Ask, what needs to be done? Because feelings fade, but actions echo. Every day, wake up and earn your place again, dot, every day. Remember that comfort is still waiting to pull you back, dot, but you've already declared war. You're not the same man anymore. You're sharper, dot, stronger, dot, wiser. You've earned your scars. You've built your armor, dot, and now you move like a storm-focused, silent, relentless. This is what transformation looks like. Dot, not perfection, dot, not ease, dot, but control, dot, control over your mind, your body, and your destiny. The beast isn't something you switch on and off. It's who you've become. Dot, every action, every breath, every choice is proof that you've mastered yourself. You've stepped out of the cage of fear and into the arena of greatness. Now there's only one rule left. Never go back.